Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next question of our agriculture optional answer writing practice series, and the question for today is write down the agronomic measures for climate resilient crop production in rainfed areas. So this question was asked in this year's agriculture optional paper of UPSC Civil Services examination, that is in 2025. So let's see how we can approach the answer. So in introduction, you can mention that how these areas, that is are rainfed areas are more prone to climate changes, because due to climate changes, these areas will have to suffer from erratic rainfalls, high temperatures, droughts, all these things. Because if you know what rainfed area is, a rainfed area is one area where for agriculture to prosper we require proper rainfall. Here the farmers are dependent on rainfall for irrigation practices, and if climate change happens, okay, so there could be changes in rainfall patterns, there would be erratic rainfalls, high temperature, droughts, all these things can lead to decreased yields. So what agronomic measures we will take uh, counter these climate changes, or you can say for climate resilient crop production in rainfed areas? So I hope you understand how can you introduce this answer. Okay, by simply stating that rainfed areas are prone to climate change as this region. Okay, you can state these regions, and there could be various other regions which you can mention in the introduction part. Okay, you can introduce certain kind of data, because as we know, due to climate change there is decrease in production of agriculture in rainfed areas. So there are a lot of ways to introduce this answer, and I hope this is your homework to comment down 2-3 introduction for this question. So let's see how do you approach the introduction part of this question. Now let's move to the body of the question, that is agronomic measures for climate resilient agriculture or climate resilient crop production in rainfed areas. So what are the agronomic measures? So there are a lot of agronomic measures. So you can state 10, 12 depending on the space available. I think this was 20 marker question, so I think 12, 13 points should have been stated easily here. So the first point you can mention about, we can do mulching. Obviously mulching will conserve the soil moisture. Secondly, we can do conservation tillage to keep our soil structure intact. Secondly, conservation tillage also reduces the moisture loss from the soil. Next, we can use cover crops. We can do green manuring to maintain soil fertility in these areas. This will also lead to organic matter addition. We can simply also write here integrated nutrient management by adding organic manure, farmyard manure, all these things. We can focus on micro irrigations, that is drip and sprinkler irrigation to conserve water. Life saving irrigations during dry spells should be given. Life saving irrigations during long dry spells. We should use proper varieties, that is resistant varieties, climate resilient varieties, okay, we can shift to crops such as millets and other things which are more resilient to climate. So this can be done. Other practices which we can do is intercropping. We can do intercropping, that is cropping two or more crops so that our risk is reduced. We can do mixed cropping. We should focus on crop rotations so that the area or the soil is not equipped with a single kind of crop, and especially we should avoid water intensive crop rotations. We can opt for agroforestry. We can go for integrated farming systems. Integrated farming systems. We can give example of agri-silvi-pasture systems. Okay, agri-silvi-pasture systems. We should focus on contingency crop planning. Okay, with relation to agronomic measures. Okay, so that our agronomic measures which we take are well planned and are nicely equipped. Okay, we should also focus on integrated pest management, use of resistant crops to pest. We should focus on crop diversification. We should focus on timely sowing with monsoon outset, timely sowing. Whenever we find certain amount of rain, we should sow our plants. We should focus on diversification of crops, which I have mentioned here only. Crop diversification, we should go towards horticultural crops. We should go towards millets. We should also diversify livestock agriculture diversification. You can mention livestock so that our risk is reduced. So there are certain amount of there are a lot of measures which you can take. I have mentioned 16, 17. You can measure any 10, 12. We all know what agronomic measures are, and there are various agronomic measures which could be taken, which could be written here. So this is how you could have approached the answer. And in conclusion part, you can mention that taking new page only. In conclusion part, you can mention that these measures these measures will help us to conserve soil, conserve water. They will enhance resource use efficiency. Okay, they will sustain our production, or you can say sustain productivity, and overall they will be able to, and all these things will help us to fight climate change, and all these things can lead to climate resilient agriculture or climate resilient cropping systems or crop production. So this is how you can approach this answer very nicely. I've written a lot of points. You can take a good amount of framework from this and write down a good answer. Okay, so that is all for today. If you like it, please press the like button. Please do share and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis. And if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.